Okay, so let's talk about valid parentheses, right? So here they're saying that we'll be given a string that is s, and it will only contain this particular brackets, right? So it is limited to this. If you will see that only these kind of brackets will be present here, fine. And now the next part is we have some rules, kind of. So what this says that open bracket must be closed with the same type of bracket, which means if it is opening with a normal bracket, then it should also only be enclosed by this normal bracket. If it is opened with a curly bracket, then it should be closed with the curly bracket. Along with that, if it's open with square, then it should be closed with a square bracket as well. Open brackets must be closed in a correct order, right? So the order is required. We will talk about this in a minute. Every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. It should have a corresponding bracket of the same type. Okay, let's talk about that in a minute into a different model. But as of now, you can see that this is open, this is closed, but the bracket type is different, so it is false. And okay, let's move on to the next page to understand it better. Okay, so these are the rules which we need to follow, right? So if I just look at the first rule itself, open the bracket and it must be closed by the same type of bracket. What does it mean? Like if it is open with a square bracket, it should be closed with the square bracket itself, not the curly bracket, right? So what I need to do here is it should be with this specific square bracket itself, right? Then in this, if this is the scenario, then it is a valid case. So again, if I just go into the next one, open bracket must be closed in the correct order, which means that if a curly brace is opening and again one bracket is opening, then the next corresponding one should be the same type, not the curly one. So this is again wrong. So what do we need to do here is that in this case, right, like in this case the correct output will be this and this, right? So if this thing is valid, then if I just remove it, then again this thing will be valid as well, right? So this works just fine. So in this scenario, this will also be correct according to the second one. Next, third bracket. So every closing bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type, which means if some bracket is opening, right, it should have the same bracket as corresponding. And if there is a end bracket like the curly bracket, so there is no corresponding open bracket for the specific curly brackets. Okay, this is not right. So what will be the right one for this specific example? Like firstly, I'll have to add this and this. So this will become the right example for this. Okay, so let's just take a example and run through it if it works, right? Okay, so let's just take this example, right? Okay, so firstly, we'll have to look for any open bracket. Based on that open bracket, we'll have to search for corresponding closed bracket. And if we get something like this close, right? If we like don't get any open bracket, then we will have to just, return false. And if we get something like this, like when both of the open and closed brackets are of same type, then we will just pop it, right? Okay, so let's start it. Let's just make a stack kind of thing, which might look like a bucket, right? So firstly, we'll go into this element, right? So it's an open bracket. Okay, so fine. We can insert it into our stack, right? Next is this square bracket. It is also open bracket, so we can again insert it into our stack, right? Then curly bracket, again open bracket. We can again insert it into our stack, right? Okay, so next is okay, it's a closed bracket. And if we see the last, like the top element of this particular stack and the current position in our string is matching, right? So what we can do, we will take this particular element, both of them, and we will from the stack, we will just pop it. As this condition is satisfied, we will pop this element at as it is, like it is fine, is as per my expectations, right? Okay, so this is out of the picture now, right? So this is like done kind of. Okay, okay, let me just keep it in this way only. So next is square bracket, right? So now we can see the top element in our stack is also square. So again, this particular thing, right? This particular thing is matching and it is satisfying all our conditions, which means now this is gone and this is also gone, which means we can just pop it, pop our square bracket as well. Next in line is the normal bracket. And this is also the normal one. So this also satisfies our stack and this runs perfectly. And okay, so suppose there would be any leftover square or maybe an extra a normal bracket, then there would have been an extra leftover here and this would not have been satisfied, right? So in that case, our stack would not have been empty and we would just get an error, right? So what we need to do at the end, we just need to check our stack if it is empty or not. If the stack is empty, in that case, we will be returning that it was a valid parenthesis. If it is not empty, if it was empty, then it is a valid parenthesis. If it is not empty, then it would have been not a valid parenthesis. Okay, so let's jump into the code right now. Okay, so let's start the coding quickly. Fine, let's take a stack pretty quick, and it will be of character type. I'll have my final stack ready. Okay, so for the for loop, I'll just take a normal initialization. It will have the size of this whole string and then simply I plus plus. Interesting. Nice. Okay, now I need to check if it is an open bracket, then it should be inserted in the stack. So what kind of brackets I can get, right? Like this, right? Okay, one is normal one, and on the end I have this. Okay, so all the conditions are satisfied. I can just final dot push, right? And I can just insert it. Fantastic. Okay, so next case is else. Okay, so in a case, right? In a case, suppose I only have this, and this, right? And nothing corresponding to it, right? Only the size of the array is cells. So in that case, also this not works. So what I need to do, all this condition will be satisfied for all the three cases here, but for the next thing, it will be won't be anything. So I'll just have to look for it as well. Okay, so we will have another if condition, right? Which will look for final dot top equals to this, right? So if the top element is this, there should be some element which is right beside it, right? Which means si should be equals to this, which means like in the string. Suppose let me just expand it a little bit more for better understanding, right? Suppose this three got inserted, the next in the line, right? The next part, which is the closing square bracket, it is not present inside it, so it will go into the else part, and we will look for it. So suppose this is, let me just keep it square for understanding. So now our stack has this on the top because of this final dot push, and our next element will be the square one, which will be this one. So it will satisfy, and if this satisfies, satisfies, then I can just say final dot pop, which means uh, pop this both the elements, like pop this element which is in the stack, pop it out as it is being checked with the correct version. So it will pop out that element, right? Fantastic. Okay, and so this is satisfying one condition. Similarly, we'll have to see for all the four conditions, right? I can just copy this and I can just paste it with the help of curly, close in, and curly. Yeah, now the normal ones, open and close, both of them, right? So it will just pop it out. Fantastic. So, okay, and okay, so there is one more case. Suppose there is nothing, there is just this, there is nothing else. So it will not go inside the if condition, but it will go inside the else condition, right? So, and there will be a empty stack as well. Or to give a better example, let's just look into this only. So if the stack is empty, right? Because we cannot go to the else condition if until and unless we have any starting bracket, right? At least there should be some starting bracket, otherwise it will not work, right? It can be just like, there can be just a lot of these things. So this will again not satisfy the condition. So if the stack is empty, right? So it should return me false instantly without going any further. Return false. Again, if none of these conditions are satisfying, which means that this particular string will have something like this, only the open ones, nothing like closed one. And even if there is something closed, right? Even if there is something closed, it is not in this order. It is not in this order which we want. It is somewhat like in a messed up order which we don't want. Somewhat like in this messed up order which we don't want. So in that case, we'll just have to return. We'll just have to return false, right? So after all the operations are done, like all the popping are done, all the insertion are done, sorry, all the instructions are done, and every case we have checked, which means that at the end, finally, the stack should have been empty, which means at the end, we need to see if the stack is empty or not. If the stack is empty, we will, like, I'll just check, right? Final dot empty, right? If it is empty, then return true, and if not, then return false, right? Okay, so yeah, you can see that I've written a wrong thing, but what I mean to say is this particular thing, right? Final.empty will just return me true and false itself, right? So instead of writing this whole thing, what I can do, I can simply just return that. I can just simply return it. Oh, I'm really sorry. And it will just give me this. Fantastic. Let me just run it pretty quickly if it is working fine or not. It's all the test cases are passing, and this seems to be accepted. Fantastic.